Everybody, thanks for watching. Just a couple quick updates on flash drives and books. I see a few people have to start receiving books and flash drives. We had an issue with Google, which is attached to our shipping method, and that being taken down for a couple of weeks kind of delayed the process. We had everything scheduled correctly and we had everything set up and organized. But once we was locked out of the email, it kind of threw the whole process off track. So that's the reason why a lot of you are still waiting. But we shipped out, we just shipped out stuff. We didn't send tracking numbers. We shipped out what we could ship out. And that's why a lot of people got their stuff before receiving tracking numbers. So we got to backtrack through the orders so we can send the tracking numbers out for people who are still waiting. So if you are still waiting for a tracking number, you will get it. Now, I talked about this in a previous video about the issues we have with Google, lawsuits or what have you pending. And, here's the email. You can see that we had dialogue back and forth with Google about the email address. And, when you try to get into the account to ship, they want to verify through email. Some places verify through phone, but them sending us emails to verify, we couldn't verify because we can't get into the email account and we couldn't change the email. So that was the issue with the whole email situation. But keep in mind, as I've been saying, a lot of you guys will get tracking numbers, but your order could arrive before you get the tracking number email. So I've been saying this for a while now. And again, we got to backtrack through orders, and a lot of people want to get their order before they get their tracking number. PO boxes, you will get your tracking number no matter what. We can't ship that out without letting you guys know first because, it won't fit in the PO box. So that's the issue. But again, no worries. Everybody will get their order. We're shipping them out. We shipped out a bunch today. So just be patient. You'll get tracking numbers. And just keep in mind, some of you will get your order before your tracking number. That's the situation because there's so many orders to backtrack, and it's tough to do that. Now, we set up, I bought a whole new email system that I pay for. Google and Yahoo is not 100% reliable. They used to be. So you guys are probably getting emails from Merkabah team. That is us. Some people thought it was fraudulent, but that is us. Merkabah team and Merkabah at merkabahacademy.com is us, new email addresses. And we send it from there because they can guarantee that we get emails across. And, it's a weird system. A lot of you guys' emails are, if you know or not, are not good. So we have problems with that. When you use the email service and you send out too many emails to people who have bad email addresses, they'll cut your account because it'll make them look like spam to security systems on computers. When they get too many bounce backs, they call it. So make sure you guys are updating your email address and send it to us. If you changed it, let us know if you have a different email than what you used when you paid or than what you used when you signed up for Merkabah Academy. Now, we send out emails to everybody. If you received the email and you're already a Never Pay Again member, but you received the email about the account deletion, the reason you received that email is because you didn't respond to the previous email that was asking you to verify your account so we can update it. So that's the issue. So if you pay for it, we're not trying to charge you again to get Never Pay Again membership. That's not the case. We just need you to let us know that you did pay for it and you didn't receive the email or whatever the situation was why you didn't verify your account through email so we can update it. But if that's the case, you didn't verify, you didn't get the email, no problems, no worries. Just when you get that email, let us know that you are a Never Pay Again member already. We can verify that and we can update your account because a lot of your accounts, are not verified. That was the whole point of making sure you have a blue check. If you got a blue check, you're good to go. If you don't, you can't even log in anyway. You'll see the message pop up when you try to log in on what to do and where to send your emails if you have a problem. So you can either send it to Merkabah team at merkabahacademy.com or you can send it to Merkabah at merkabahacademy.com. Either one you can send to and let us know you have an issue and we'll take care of it. But that was the issue with the situations. A lot of people have been complaining about the videos, YouTube videos. Me not putting a video up in its entirety. I put up most of the video or the parts that I can and then the video cuts off. And, a lot of backlash with that. The thing is, if you are a Never Pay Again member, you have access to all these videos already through Podia. So just check the Podia account, look in there, you'll find the full video. Always put what the video is with the video so you can go and watch the entire video through Podia. The section in Merkabah Academy that usually has all the videos is coming soon. We're going to make it way better than before, but we're still working on Merkabah Academy, which brings me to my next point. Make sure you guys are registered. So it's a lot of people who paid for Merkabah Academy who hasn't even registered. You guys receive emails as well. We need you to go and register so we can close out these accounts. But they're going to get closed out anyway by the time we finish putting up everything. And you guys are just going to have to email us and let us know that you paid for it. And we'll verify it that way. We have been giving people a chance to go ahead and get Never Pay Again membership. So yeah, all those videos that people are complaining about not being able to see the entire video, you can see all the videos. Every DVD I put out, you would have been able to get for $8, $7.99. So if you're not willing to pay $7.99 to see in the video, then it's no point in complaining. I put out my entire catalog, every video I've ever released. You could have got everything plus Never Pay Again membership for $7.99. So if you didn't take advantage of that, I don't know what else to tell you. People yell scam or, it's a problem or they don't want to pay for information, and nobody can charge you for information that's free. I can't really charge you for this information. You can go out and get it for yourself. The issue is the way I'm putting my information out, what it takes and what it costs me to put it out. That's what I'm charging for. And you don't ever have to pay again for any more videos. That was the case. So if you would have paid the $7.99, you would have got all the videos and never would have had to pay again for any new videos. So what's the point of complaining? I don't understand that. But, it is what it is. I know some people can't afford $8. Some people can't afford $10. It's $24.99 now. And I've even offered it to people for $9.99. So second, third, fourth, fifth, 17 chances I've given people to get Never Pay Again membership. So these videos like this one, that's an old video, when they pop up, if you can't, you won't be able to finish the video. But if you want to go and see the entire video, you can go ahead and see it because you're a Never Pay Again member and all these videos are in Podium. Now you can see from the calculated destruction of the black man and woman, this video was taken down for a while. Then they put it back up and they made it unsearchable. So as far as it won't appear in anybody's suggestions or what have you. And for a while you couldn't even search for it and it was just basically gone. If you search for it now, you'll find it, it'll pop up, but you would have to know the entire name and spell it out for it to even pop up. So they cited that this was a controversial video, and they didn't want to post it, and they age restricted the video. You can see it's age restricted. There's an issue. If you've seen the video, come on. Now, the thing is with YouTube, what I keep talking about with this unfair treatment or what have you, this bias, look at these videos. This video about a crackhead black woman. There's a video about a African woman who was, raped at 14 or what have you. You have a video of, people smoking crack, all kinds of stuff. These videos are uncensored. They don't have any age restrictions. You can see them, no problem. You can type it up, they'll pop right up. Video of this little girl shooting guns, not age restricted. Kids can see these videos. But my video is age restricted, take it down, what have you. Why? This is a video you should want to see and share and to understand why, what's in it. But this is the stuff I have to go through when I post videos in their entirety or if I try to put out certain information. This is what happened. They've already taken my channel down. They unmonetized my channel. They put the channel back up. They remonetized it. They sent me warnings, all kinds of stuff because of the content, which is the reason for Merkabah Academy and me doing what I'm doing. Also, real quick, people who ask about the test. So the African Studies quiz and test, there was an issue with that. We fixed that. So you can go ahead and retake that course and take that quiz. A bunch more coming. You'll see the updates coming daily. But we had a little bit of glitches and problems with the site that we had to go back and fix. But they're fixed now. And then the rest of the games is going to be popped up. More games. It's going to be up there, I think today or tomorrow. So look for those as well. But I have to put certain videos out in a certain way. I can't put out the entire video because of the content and because of risk of having the entire YouTube channel taken down, which they continue to threaten me with, with old videos. Also, real quick, people asked about the Brother Polite situation. If you guys been following that whole situation, I'll give you my take on it on Merkabah Academy. So when you guys log in, you'll see that video as soon as you log in of, my take on the whole Polite situation and what happened, as well as getting into some other stuff, talking about the gymnastics thing in Ireland. I'm gonna talk about that real quick. I posted it on my Instagram. But yeah, so when you guys log into Merkabah Academy, you'll see that video. It should be there right now. So yeah, please don't email me with no crap. I put out emails. I sent people. Don't email us with any type of information that has to do with, YouTube and the problems with YouTube and videos with YouTube. I explained that so many times. It's YouTube. It's just how it is. The algorithm is crazy. So you got to try to tiptoe around it, and censor the shit, to even get it out. And it's constant changes, what their policy with YouTube. So we got to tiptoe around that and try to be ready for any of those situations when they come up. So yeah, just to be clear again, a lot of people, if you are a Never Pay Again member, if you paid already, the reason why you received the email is because your account was never updated because you did not follow the instructions in the email, or you didn't get the email or see it or what have you. Who knows what the issue was? The thing is, we're not trying to charge you again. If you pay for Never Pay Again membership, send us an email, let us know you paid so we can verify that and update your account. It's just that simple. So, I don't know what else to do about people who don't verify their account or getting emails out. So please check your email, check your spam to make sure you didn't receive an email. We sent all non-Never Pay Again members multiple emails. Those accounts will be deleted. We've offered multiple opportunities for people to go in and update their account. So don't complain. It's going to be a lot coming to Merkabah Academy that people are going to wish they are a part of. And if you are a part of it, then we appreciate the support. I don't want people who are not willing to spend $8, to get this content to even be on the site anyway. So it is what it is. Like I said, I can understand people can't afford $8, some people, but there's been so many opportunities to get this. And, it is what it is. And that went into the whole decision of getting rid of the free accounts because it's just too much of an issue with emails. And it really got a lot of the email services we had shut down because trying to send out these emails to people who gave us fake email addresses or spam or temporary email addresses, all kinds of crazy. I didn't even understand about most of this stuff at the time, that it was such thing. Usually you send out an email, if it go through, it don't. But a lot of these email companies, they look at this, they count these bounce backs as a risk, a problem, because software now is, programmed to see how many bounce backs certain emails are sending out. So when they see that, they look at it as spam and they'll drop you or they'll make sure your emails don't come through no more. So if you got antivirus software or internet security, stuff like that, these are some of the things that it's designed to protect you against and companies against is all these, fraudulent emails or spam emails or what have you. And a lot of times, the email will just go straight to spam. But, if your email is, corrupted or if it's a problem and then we try to send emails to you guys, then they look at it as an issue from our part as us being a spam user. So, yeah, we appreciate everybody who supports. And, like I said, we're not trying to scam anybody or hold anybody's orders any longer than possible. We're getting them out as quickly as possible. There's been a wait. Again, that was the whole point for the lower price. If you try to get these deals now, they're $200, $300, to get all 5 is over $500 now. So you guys saved a lot of money because there would be a wait. You try to buy it now, it's $500, it's going to be $600 after taxes and shipping. So you guys saved a lot of money. So that was the reason for the price being so low, get all 5 and all those deals is because we knew it might be a wait or it could be an issue because we had so many books and orders to get out, from 2021. It's people who has been waiting since 2021 because of the court case, because we couldn't do anything because we was locked. You guys are not going to have to wait that long. You will get your orders. A lot of your orders are in the mail and on the way now. So it's a process. So again, not trying to scam anybody, not trying to make anybody wait any longer than possible. We're moving as quickly as possible. We got you guys. It's just that simple. Never Pay Again members, again, check your emails. If you log in and you don't have a blue check or you can't log in completely, that is why. So send us an email so we can update your account. Easy done. So again, don't complain on in the comment section about charging people for information and all that stupid shit. $7, $8, $7.99, whatever it was, $10. It's $24.99 now, which is still too low. That gets you full Podia access. Every single DVD I put out, you can get. All these videos that's popping up lately, that are old videos, you get the full video. And then you never have to pay again for another video that releases, another DVD, another Merkabah DVD. So get you full access to the site. It gets you on there without having to pay what a lot of people paid, which is hundreds of dollars before. You're not going to get that level. That's another thing you guys will see. You guys will be able to work towards where these people are going to be at, but you won't get that level as the original Never Pay Again members who paid much more. So again, it's a process. There's a lot going on. We're doing as much as we can. It's the reason why I haven't been able to put out many new videos. But once the site launches, I already got a bunch of videos to put out, stuff that I can't put out on YouTube as well. Again, the section for all the videos will be back up on Merkabah Academy soon. You guys will be able to watch on Merkabah Academy. And at the same time, we're getting the app together. I know a lot of people are just waiting on the app, but I recommend that you make sure you get Never Pay Again membership now before the app comes out. Again, it's going to be a lot more money. And there's going to be a good reason for that once everything launches. You can see what's happening with the site now and how everything looks. It's going to be better once we get everything together and out. So take advantage. It's $8, $10, whatever it was. It's $24.99 now. Well worth it. I mean, to get all those videos for that price is just crazy. I don't understand it. So, if you didn't take advantage now while it's still available. It's not going to be available for long. But yeah, I appreciate everybody's patient support. Let's get into this video. Even at the most microscopic level, we see amazing stuff happen. We see the formation of a sun, the formation of a solar system, and ultimately the formation of life. So, of course, they took everything back. And when you look at the creation story of us versus the creation story of the ancient Egyptians, you can see the Big Bang in the Egyptian creation story is basically Ptah, the creator god, speaking into existence, or creating the Agdod and speaking into existence Atum and everything like that. It's the Big Bang. You can kind of parallel it with the waters, far as the waters of Noon against the space, because that's basically what it's talking about, space. So you had this stuff happen at the smallest level. So the ancient Egyptians really begin there at the smallest level and start looking at things on a microscopic scale. And they basically telling you that by giving you the creation story. I mean, they knew from studying the creation story about eventually they would get into math and the Fibonacci sequence and, the golden ratio. If you starting to study things on a microscopic scale, this is what you will find as you start to zoom out. And of course, they ran into all this stuff. And this is all unbelievably, this is huge knowledge. And they put this stuff to work, as we can see, with the building of pyramids and temples and stuff like that. But this is a huge thing that they begin to understand and put into use. So when you look at the beginning and how these small particles will eventually give life and create the cyanobacteria that will bring about animals and everything like that. When you look at the creation of even us, we know everything is made up of atoms, and atoms are also ultra microscopic. But the key to both of these things, becoming something more, is of course the sun. So now we know that it was the sun that gave cyanobacteria its life. And we could say that the sun, or the energy from the sun, is basically the soul of cyanobacteria. But you can see that when you start studying the progress of the ancient Egyptians and start looking at the text, the pyramid text and all of the Metu, and you can see that they dealt with the question of, did our soul come from the sun? Is our energy, our soul, like some sort of, energetic, conscious, energy, of the sun, basically devoid of matter? So is our soul, the energy of the sun, devoid of matter? Is it the same kind of energy? And they flirted with this. And the whole thing is, energy has to be infinite. It has to be seen and unseen. It has to be, because when you look at existence, and as I said, existence has always existed. There has always been something. Nothing is still something. So, existence is infinite. What the problem we run into, is consciousness. That's the whole thing. It's all about consciousness. Eventually, at one point, consciousness became aware of itself, and consciousness becoming aware of itself, made that first move, as they show you in the formation of the tree of life, the flower of life pattern. It made that first move. Now, understand, making that first move took energy. So energy had to have always been there, just like, existence has always been here. So the ancient Egyptians looked at it. Well, energy must have always been here along with existence. The thing was, consciousness wasn't aware of itself, and it wasn't aware of the energy. And when it became aware of itself and became aware of energy, it made the first move. It made its first move. And then the next move after that took energy, and so on and so forth. And everything that came into existence after that requires energy. So no way around that. It's inescapable. Everything requires energy. So energy must have always been, just like existence. So we can say that the universe is infinite and that energy is infinite as well. And nothing can come into existence without energy. It can't happen. So when we look at the quantum physics, we look at the ultra small in quantum physics. And if we go to, string theory, strings to quarks, to protons and neutrons, to eventually atoms, this is a steady flow of energy that we get to reach the atom. And, when you look at the ancient Egyptian creation story, they called it the water waves of noon, and everything came into existence from that. So we're talking about the steady flow, the wave of atoms, steady flow of energy leading to the creation of the atom, or atum. And, the ancient Egyptian creation story. So we know in the story you had Shu and Tefnut and Geb and Nut. And remember in the story you had that Shu and Tefnut got lost, and Atum sent the eye out and brought them back. They came back with the eye of Atum, or the eye of Ra, and he brought them back, and he was so happy that he wept, and it was the tears, the water, that brought about, life on earth. And this is basically, the same thing when we look at the creation story of us, how life came out of the waters, the primordial soup, or whatever you want to call it. And, it's the same thing. You can bounce it off back and forth, and it's trying to tell you something in this story. And there's a lot more to it when you look, deeply into it. But they understood. And to me, the fact that they understood this so long ago, which obviously the scientists and researchers of today, way back then, look back and could see what the Egyptians was talking about, and understood that, this is how life came into existence. And when they did their research, all they had to do was match it up with what the Egyptians was talking about, because they knew, they was on point. And of course it did match up. I mean, this is stuff that, can be proven. This is all scientific research. We know about atoms and everything. So the simple fact that they knew about this so long ago is mind boggling. And it tells us that we're dealing with a group of beings that is beyond this universe. And, we're going to get into all that. So we know when these superstorms was forming over the earth, cooling down the magma, giving us land, and eventually giving us life. The same thing matches up with the ancient Egyptian creation story, where Atum crying basically in the water, bringing about life. So they just basically substituting the sun as we know it, because remember, the sun is the reason why we got life, or the cyanobacteria. And then Atum, which is also the sun, or Atum Ra, or Ra, whatever you want to call him, is also the sun, and his tears basically brought about life. So the stories, as I said, matches up. When we go to the Mystery Schools DVD, what did we talk about in there? We basically validated everything, and we seen the conclusion that they came up with, basically saying that it's math that is the language, it governs the universe, mathematics. So when we remember from the ancient Egyptian creation story, what did they put in place to govern everything? Ma'at. And basically, math comes from ma'at. And it's a lot of people that will tell you the same thing. It's the universal law. It's math, ma'at, that governs everything. There's no way around it. It don't matter. We always say with the law, if it don't add up, you're guilty. It has to add up. We always use mathematical terms when we're talking about truth and justice and righteousness. It has to add up. It has to make sense. And math always makes sense. You can't lie with math. It is what it is. 1 + 1 = 2. No matter how you slice it, it's going to equal 2. If you call it something else, that is against nature. That's against the laws of reality. So they were really heavy into this and understanding. And they knew, obviously, about math. And they knew about this whole gematria, whatever you want to call it, system. This is, it's bogus. I hate that a lot of people are just discovering this stuff now, and they're giving a lot of credit to so many people who don't deserve the credit, when all the credit goes back and should go back to the ancient Egyptians, because they already knew about this stuff. They built it, and that's the thing, Aristotle and Thales and, so many other Greek scholars, all the stuff that these people are accredited with, all the Greek scholars who did anything, Da Vinci, everything, all these people, the Egyptians built this stuff. I mean, for them, it's like, okay, you did this stuff later. The Great Pyramid basically has everything these people has ever done in it. And that's the point of it. And that's the thing that blew me away when I started really looking into it. I'm like, damn, they put the golden ratio. They put the Fibonacci sequence. They put pi. And the crazy part is you find pi in so many different places in Kemet that is crazy. I mean, the little archways that they left that the sun peered through, that's pi. And this is where they got the symbol from, actually, from a lot of the temples where the sun shine through is the symbol for pi. So, I mean, they stole so much, and they get a lot of credit for stuff. When we start learning about these people in school, all these, Greek historians and stuff like that. The only person I really bang with is Herodotus, because Herodotus did at least tell the truth on a lot of stuff pertaining to the ancient Egyptians. He gave them a lot of credit. I mean, he basically told the truth. Egyptians did this, they did that. They was black. This is what they did. They created this. All the Greeks came there. And, he told the truth about a lot of stuff. And you just had a lot of other Greek historians who were getting initiated into the schools, really just studying, Greek people and giving them credit. And of course, they wasn't going to give us credit. So I hate to see people jump into the teachings of Thales and Pythagoras and give them all this credit and not, acknowledge Kemet. So, that's kind of crazy. Now, remember, we have the gods that was created and everything. We got Isis, which is the god of health and marriage. We got Hathor, the goddess of love and beauty. Osiris, the god of the afterlife, the god of life and death and resurrection. We got Seth, the god of evil. Thoth, the god of wisdom. Nephthys, the protectress of the dead and mummies, goddess of lamentation. So remember, these gods was created before the earth was created, before people. So, why were gods created and given these kind of attributes before people was even created? Now we can look at these things as being the part of the dual nature. These guys represent the dual nature of reality. They represent things that exist, principles in reality that exist. So we know you can't really deal with some of these things unless, this is something around. There must be some kind of life to give us the energy of love, to give us the energy of beauty and everything like that. It's something that we would think is a human trait, it's human stuff, love and beauty and lamentations and burying the dead and life and death. If people are not alive yet to even worry about life and death, so why create these gods before that? So, they must have known that it had to be life before us. And this energy was already out there. Now, again, we can argue that these are human emotions and feelings, but we know cats and animals, dogs and stuff like that feel love. They feel fear and everything like that. They have these same kind of emotions like we do. So we got to remember that these animals was on the earth before us. So we are the last creation to be put on this planet, but animals existed before us. Dogs feel love. They feel fear. They feel when you are fearful and scared and stuff like that. Many animals do. They have emotions. We've seen it. So we can't put these things in the category of strictly human. It's not what makes us human. It's our soul, our energy. We are unique in that aspect. And it's something that a lot of people who, when you start digging into Metu and everything like that and the creation story, a lot of people looked over that. A lot of people didn't even think about it. Well, wait a minute. Why would they create these gods and give these guys these kind of, attributes before people was even created? So, this is just a hint. This time we're going to get into much later, and it's deep. You got to understand, this stuff existed. It's an energy. It had to be here before us. So, we can't just, take it as human emotions. We have to really ascribe it to every living thing. And if you really want to get deep into it and break it all the way back down, we don't even know if life on the ultra small microscopic level can feel these same type of emotions. We see a bug, we step on it and we kill it. And we see a fly, we try to swat it down. We don't know, the system, the life, the reality of bugs and insects and animals. And it's something that the ancient Egyptians strive to understand, So, they looked at the dung beetle, the scarab beetle, and said, whoa, look at what this beetle does. And it lays its eggs inside the dung. It's an amazing thing. So they understood stuff, and they took the energy from it and, took the attributes from it and, put them in people, into their gods, and say, well, you know what? This god represents this thing. So when we think about emotions and feelings, understand, as I said, these are energies. So as I said in part 5, remember, universe came into existence 4.5 billion years ago. Universe, our solar system, I should say, 4.5 billion years ago. But before that, there existed the rest of the universe that they say exists between, 12 and 16 billion years before we did, or in that area somewhere. It's a long time ago. We know that. As I said, something had to have come into existence besides us in this vast universe. And that's obviously true. I don't even like to even speculate that. I know 100% for sure, based upon what I just know about what's out there. Of course, there's an abundance of life that's out there. And it's obvious. And of course, these beings, whatever they are, whatever they look like, they must have the same kind of dealings as us. They must feel love, hate. It has to be a sense of good and evil. It has to exist, energy. You take it back. It's still the emotions that we feel is still an energy. You can put it in a person energetically. If you want somebody to feel an emotion, it's just an electrical shock. Remember, he was talking about in the Matrix. It's just electrical signals interpreted by the brain. Feelings and emotions, work the same way. You can energetically put love into a person. If you play music, that is still a frequency. That is still an energy. A scary movie, so many things that you can, a picture even. This is still energy. We look at it as matter, but it puts out an energy. So you may not think that when you look at a scary movie that the TV is putting out energy or something like that, but really, it is. And not only that, you are also creating the emotion of fear within yourself because you're seeing this stuff. Bottom line, when you trace it, it's still an energy. So the Egyptians understood that, it's energy all around us, seen and unseen. It is basically the nature of reality. And when you look at, again, the Agdod, and the Agdod is basically telling you that these things are things that always existed. Noon and Nunet, which is the watery abyss, Ha and Ha-Het, the infinite and finite, Ka and Ka-Ket is the darkness and the light. Amun and Amenet is the seen and unseen, the hidden and the revealed, basically. So they understood that reality exists in all of this. You think about reality, it consists of these things, hidden things, infinite things, light and darkness. And these emotions are no different. And it's an energy that, if you think about it, when the first intelligent life, which would have to be consciousness itself, when it came into existence, these emotions had to follow. These things had to, because consciousness, once it made the first move and it has something to move relative to, it can feel some type of way about that next move. Now, remember, in part 5, we talked about DNA and us having this animal DNA. So now we know that the ancient Egyptians obviously understood this. This is why we see so much animal stuff everywhere. The whole animal heads and everything people always talk about, and thinking that we worship animals and all that. We see the depiction. So when you look at the depiction of Khnum fashioning man on a potter's wheel, it's representing the fact that, they understood, of course, that we come from women, that women give birth to human beings. So seeing Khnum fashion man on a potter's wheel is saying that, our bodies is a creation. Our bodies was created. Our souls is put into the creation by Khnum. So Khnum puts the Ka into our bodies, our soul. So the reason why they have Khnum there with the ram's head is because in the ancient Egyptian language, soul and ram actually sounds the same. And we always see that depiction with Khnum fashioning a man, and you always look over and you see Haket there too. And Haket is basically creating the body of man inside the womb of the woman, the egg or what have you. And we know she is depicted as a frog. And as we also talked about in part 5, is how our insides, our muscular and skeletal systems resemble frogs. So this is why they use Haket and used her as a frog and gave her that attribute and described that to her, because it's talking about our insides, and we see it resembles frogs. Now, we also talked about how we share genes with cows. And remember, Haru, when he was born in the manger, Haru was there, or Hathor was there, symbolizing the surrogate mother. And this is all metaphorically speaking and trying to tell you that we have this DNA. And, you would think, how can a cow be a surrogate mother to, something that's supposed to be like a human being? And, this is why it's just symbolic that we share these same genes. And this is what it's talking about. We know that they stole that with Christianity, with Jesus in the manger and everything like that. We see the cow always there. Now, it's one thing to see the cow there once. If you see it there once, it's like, okay. But most of the depictions that we see, we always usually see this cow. So we know this is where they're stealing it from. They're taking it from, the creation story of Haru. And you can look at a lot of different pictures of the whole, Jesus in the manger, and you'll see that cow there. And it's just clearly plagiarism. And we see, that they taking it from the ancient Egyptian creation story of Haru. But, when you look at many of the depictions of ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, you always see animals in some kind of zoomorphic form and some kind of animalistic nature, something taking place that's dealing with animals, because they understood the connection that we have and that we share these genes and DNA. So now when we go back and look through history, it just seems like everything begins with the ancient Egyptians. And this is like what everybody is really into. It's the most read about subject in the world. Even there's more books printed on ancient Egypt than any other subject. That's a known fact. So many people study it, but it's not much known, really about the world before that. And it seems like every time we look into stuff, it stops at Kemet. Now, obviously, it was, stuff was going on before that. A lot of stuff that they obviously don't want us to know. Now, the thing is, when you look at ancient Egypt, we know it's old, it's ancient. But the thing is, we can trace the culture of Kemet, back through Nile Valley and, Nubia, all the way into Ethiopia, into Tia in Ethiopia. And we find artifacts. They've been finding artifacts for years, dating, over 15,000 years. So we're talking, that's a large gap between the dynasties and these Africans at the time. So, when you go back to Ethiopia, we know about things, we know about Nut, and we know about the whole ancient Egyptian creation story. We know what hieroglyphics look like. You would expect to only find these things in, maybe Nubia, but in Egypt as well. You don't expect to find them as far south as Ethiopia. And of course, we do. When you go to Tia in Ethiopia, they find Nut. You find in Nubia the 6,000, 7,000 year old carvings and writings, hieroglyphic looking depictions from these cultures. So it's obvious, as we always say when people talking about Kemet, that Kemet came up through the Nile Valley civilizations, and and ultimately landed in Kemet. The thing is, when they got to Kemet, were the pyramids there. And of course, those pyramids was already there. So we're talking about thousands of years ago, that we have this whole culture, Egyptian culture. Excuse me if you hear little kids screaming in the background. There's a bunch of kids outside. But you hear, you see the culture everywhere going up Nile Valley from these Africans. And we got to remember that Africa wasn't always called Africa. Even in the Bible, they call it Ethiopia because that's what it was called. And it's supposed to be the cradle of life there where life supposedly began, which is another weird thing because it seems like